Hello, I'd like to talk about today the book called Wildflowers of the Rocky Mountain Region. And this is published by Denver Botanic Gardens people. And I think it's a relatively new publication. I think the original one is published copyrighted about 2018, and this particular second printing in 2020, and it is about describing like 1,200 species, and they include annuals, biennial, vines, shrubs, subshrubs, native and non-natives, and 1,245 superb color photographs and 1,189 range maps. And so that range maps is over here, and it shows Rocky Mountain regions like a state: Wyoming, Utah, Colorado, Montana, Idaho, the eastern the part of the Washington, and some Canadian, and the south is New Mexico, tips of New Mexico. So the maps is like this, but it's colored a little bit darker when it's this particular the species are seen. So that's kind of a nice indications of which one are you talking about. And so this is very nice. I think the three pictures, three species listed in one page, and it is picture itself is just one picture of the one species. However, it's good enough for me to identify. So one big problem of this book is that they list a whole bunch of species. That means in the same genus, like a penstemon, for example, it's like 20 to like 30 almost different species of penstemon, and each one is kind of a similar, although they kind of depict the trying to identify the more featured parts of the particular species, so that you can identify them. But for me, it's very confusing. Each one, what is this, particular flowers? Lupine, for example, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 9 species are listed here. And it's from one to the other, and it's very, very difficult. So I ended up with rely on some more like this type of more common the Wildflowers Colorado guide, and this one has a typical species listed here, and I kind of rely on this to identify the one particular species, and otherwise, this one has 2 or 3 species pretty much the same looks to it, and it's a different species, and I cannot identify that. So that's difficulty of this particular book. But if you are very, very detail oriented, and if you are carrying this to the spot where you can see the wildflowers, and you can kind of compare the depictions of the explanation and the flowers and so forth, and probably this is a good book to carry around. As a matter of fact, this one has a scale listed, printed here at the back side, and so it's you can kind of measure the flower size or the leaves, size of the leaves and so forth. So that's very nice, and so I would recommend this one to anyone who who are coming to the Rocky Mountain region and to identify the wildflowers. I think this is, as far as I'm concerned, the most comprehensive wildflower books here, and it covers lots of different species. So that's my few comments of this particular book. It's nice, so I will recommend to anyone.